Hello again. Hey, Mitchell here at Streaming Consciousness. Today we're going to talk about meditation again. Um, and I'm doing a little bit of a different kind of meditation. I don't know that I've really seen much about this, or at least explained in this way. But uh, coming from my background as first off, I did get the opportunity to be an understudy with a yogi for nearly 5 years. Um, and this was not your typical yogi. We did our chanting and we did our sutras and we did our all of our pranayamas and our meditations. And the asanas were kind of a secondary thing. We studied all the different books, and really made meditation the focus. As years went by, I've looked more and more and more into the breath works and into the polyvagal work, which is fascinating. Um, because it all kind of ties together to bring you back to what the ancients were getting at, but it gives you a very clear perspective of what's going on in the body. So, what we're doing is a body oriented meditation. Now, we're bringing our awareness into the body. We're making sure that we are in awareness that there is the ability to focus, that there is the watcher, and the watcher is also in, uh, or the watcher uh, is not constrained to, but is subject to um, what the body and the mind are going through. Maybe not subject to, that's not quite the right word. The watcher, the eye, the one that focuses in yourself, that can remove itself from your immediate stressful, anxiety ridden, thought patterned eye, identity eye, the one that is merely removed to a degree to where it can sit back and observe, even that you are in a stressful situation without the actual being in stress. So um, we will get to this stuff. But first off, let's talk about this body awareness. The first piece that I'd like to tap into is what I call the 80-20 rule. And I've covered this in other videos, but I'm going to mention it again today. Um, the 80-20 rule for me is that for every 80 signals that the body sends up to the brain only has 20 answers. Okay, so it's a 4-to-1 ratio, right? There's 4 questions, 1 answer. And so the brain says everything's okay, but the body may still be freaking out about what's happening environmentally or what it has experienced from input from the brain or the senses. So let's look at that. The reason I really, really want to go over this, and I do go into this in some detail, is we are in a time of emergence. Okay, we are in a time of awakening, and this can be a way to root yourself, to seat yourself into a place that can accept this kind of awakening. Uh, I've been watching other channels. We are in the middle of a political firestorm and or political dumpster fire. So let's call it that. Uh, And there are literally firestorms going on within our own borders, but it's causing a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. People are freaking out and not able to calm. So let's find ways to calm the body. And when the body is sending calm up to the brain, then the brain has less work to do, and the brain itself uh, is calmed. And I've gone over this in other videos, but I want to continue to repeat it because it's critical at this time and in this place of emergence. I hear so many other videos right now talking about do your self-care. And they mention things like, if it's ice cream or if it's chocolate and, uh, you know, yes and no, okay? A lot of what we think of as self-care is trying to turn down the anxiety in the brain. The anxiety from the brain is that one, all right? Most of the anxiety is held and manifested and reacted to in the body. So if we can knock out 3 of these issues, then doing the meditation or doing the calming the anxiety of the brain or the thoughts, which is probably the key point, get those thoughts under control, is a very simple task, okay? So first and foremost, we start with the basic breath. If any of you have listened to Thich Nhat Hanh or read Thich Nhat Hanh, you may notice that his most common phrase is watch the breath, or simply breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Thich Nhat Hanh was a master among us. And so why was it that his number one instruction was breathe in, breathe out? Well, again, calm the body first, then the issues with the brain or with the anxiety or with the questioning become far more manageable. Okay? So, the basic breath, in and out only through the nose. Keep the mouth closed, not pursing the lips, just closed. Teeth are slightly gapped, and the tongue is at the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. So it's just in and out. And in and out. So what I'm doing for the basic breath, very, very simply, is exhale is twice as long as the inhale, with a 1 or 2 pause at the top and the bottom. So it's inhale, pause, exhale, 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 pause, inhale, pause, exhale, exhale, pause. Okay, so twice as long on the exhale, tongue to the roof of the mouth, only in and out through the nose. What are we doing by that? Why is it that that alone can help calm the body? Tongue to the roof of the mouth. You are actually accessing the first point of contact with that polyvagal nerve that goes throughout your system and manages your autonomic nervous system. When you touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, which, by the way, have you ever noticed what babies do all the time? They're sucking, they're stimulating the roof of their mouth just behind the front teeth. It's a self-soothing technique. It's a switch. I like to call them switches that turn on the parasympathetic while at the same time turn down the sympathetic. The parasympathetic is the rest and relax. The sympathetic is part of your autonomic system that keeps you agitated, that keeps you in fight or flight. And we want to turn that down, especially in this time when we're talking about self-care. I'm talking about down-regulating. How do you down-regulate? You access your parasympathetic, the autonomic system in the body that automatically relaxes you. Okay, so tongue to the roof of the mouth. We're breathing in and out only through the nose. Why? Because we're retaining the CO2. Most people overbreathe. They off-gas too much CO2. The CO2 is necessary to get the oxygen out of your bloodstream and into your organs. Guess what the first organ to be affected is? The brain. Okay. Now, if you're in fight or flight or anxiety or PTSD, you're in the amygdala. The amygdala is the reactionary brain. When you start to oxygenate the brain, it wants to move you into the hippocampus or even the forebrain. But first off, the hippocampus, which is where your endorphins are produced. Okay? So we're going to get right back to that. Why are we exhaling twice as long as our inhale? When we exhale twice as long as the inhale, we are actively turning off your adrenals, your cortisol, which is signaled from your amygdala. So if you're in fight or flight, you're going to be emitting cortisol and adrenaline. Let's take your cell. Take your cell, say this is a cutaway version of one of your cells. Just like a bowl of soup. After you're done with the soup, there's a residue of soup in that bowl still. After you've been stimulated with adrenaline or cortisol, there's still a residue within your cells of these stress chemicals. When we can move up into out of the amygdala and into the hippocampus, out of fight or flight and into rest and relax, out of sympathetic into parasympathetic, we start to trigger the chemicals of rest and relax, the endorphins, the serotonins, the melatonins. Just as the cortisol leaves a residual in your cells, so will the serotonin, so will the endorphins, okay? It isn't immediately pulled out of the system. Over time, it builds up. So as over time you build up stress starts to anchor you. It starts to cause shoulder, neck issues. It causes chronic pain. If we start to continually flood our system with the endorphins, we start to enact a sense of peace throughout the body. Just as we were building the stress, we're going to build peace. We're going to build the rest and relax. It's flowing through the system in a more consistent way when we are in awareness. Okay, all of this from the basic breath. So we're going to go back to we moved into the hippocampus. We wanted to breathe twice as long on our exhale than our inhale. But why are we breathing only in and out through the nose? We're going to kind of button that one up too. Another thing that happens when you breathe only in and out through the nose is you activate your diaphragm. Okay? When you're breathing in and out through your mouth, you're activating the upper lung and the chest breathing, and just the very beginning of your sympathetic nervous system. of the dorsal vagal system. We want to be breathing through the nose. It automatically stimulates the diaphragm. The diaphragm is has a hole in the middle, and as it goes up and down, it stimulates, guess what? The ventral vagal nerve, responsible for the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we are breathing in and out through the diaphragm, we're further sending signals to the body to rest and relax. We're bringing the air further down. We're bringing the air into the place where the blood pools and where the alveoli, where the blood oxygen exchange, where the blood absorbs the oxygen, happens, the hemoglobin. It's right here in the lower lung, far less in the upper lung. Okay, so you get a deeper breath. But one thing that I want to make sure that you do know is that we are breathing deeper, but we're not breathing more. We're actually going to breathe less. So our inhale is just a 2 count, okay? So we're going to inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and we're also pausing at the top and the bottom. So it's not big, deep, urgent breaths. It's calm, shallow, well, not shallow, deep into the diaphragm, but slight, light breaths, okay? Because we also tend to overbreathe when we're in fight or flight. Another signal that turns on the adrenals, turns on the cortisol producing, activates the fight or flight. We want light breaths to signal the body to relax, that it's okay. Okay? So that's our basic meditation. Believe it or not, we're going to do some now. So you're going to breathe in and out, only through the nose, tongue to the roof of the mouth, into the diaphragm. And as you breathe in and out, 1 to 2 count pauses at the top and the bottom of each breath. Bring your awareness in with the in-breath. I'm going to back up a little bit here. So we're here. This is right here. This is my sternum. So it's the bottom of the rib cage. Sternum. And if you're ready, close your eyes, breathe in, and bring your awareness all the way down to the diaphragm. Now, by bringing your awareness all the way down to the diaphragm, it actually helps to stimulate again that ventral vagal nerve, that parasympathetic rest, relax, it's okay, safety, I'm good response. Okay, tongue is at the roof of the mouth. We're breathing in ever so gently. Pause and exhale. And here's what the challenge is. Can you, as you simply bring your awareness in and focus here, keep your focus there and allow thoughts to dissipate. Keep drawing your focus into your diaphragm, into your solar plexus, into your power center, okay? So we're going to bring our air in. And I'm continually bringing my attention down. And I'm imagining a container. Maybe my container goes from all the way down to the top of my hip bones to maybe my clavicles. There's a container here. And this container expands, grows tight. And relaxes. And all of my attention is simply watching this container expand and contract. I keep pulling my attention in, following my attention to where my breath is. What's happening when we do that? We are becoming far more aware of the subtleties within. We're creating a space between the thinking identity mind and the self. When your focus is here, then you realize maybe I'm less the thinker that lives up here. And maybe I'm more the focuser that can go wherever, but is now being anchored here. Now, another fascinating thing here, in the East, they call the breath the prana. And the practice of breathing is pranayama. That's interacting with the life force. So as we breathe and as we bring our attention here, we're actually becoming open to what the life force is. And if this isn't self-care, if this isn't a place to heal, then where is? Okay, so when we become aware of the life force that lives in the prana, and we keep our focus there, we begin to reunite as one with the life force, okay? So that's my practice for today. I would suggest just doing this container meditation, watching the container expand and contract, knowing what you now know about what breath is and what it is for and what it really, really does, okay? Be so aware of the body that you can't separate, okay? So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be in self-care. Remember, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, breathe in, breathe out. And let's do it consciously. Let's do it in pure awareness. So again, my name is Mitchell Mead. This is Streaming Consciousness. Like, subscribe. I'm going to be giving you all kinds of tips and tricks and actual real practices that do work for anxiety, for calming, for stress, for PTSD. I work with these clients all day, every day, and I see it happening. And this is what we do, okay? Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.